So let's discuss this topic further, as today we have BMKG Weather Prediction Division Sub-Coordinator Baida Pramuwardhani. Good morning, Baida. Thank you for joining us today. Happy Monday.
Yeah, good morning, Kay and Paul.
Good morning.
So, but we've seen that previously the Southeast Asia region is prone to hydrometeorological phenomena due to its geographic setting and climate. So can you explain a little bit about how this happens?
Yeah, because you know that maybe in majority of ASEAN region are lies in the tropical region, which is Indonesia also lies in the oceanic archipelago and between two big ocean and two big continent. And it also can cause a specific phenomena like La Nina, El Nino, and then monsoon, and then also phenomena that contribute from the Indian Ocean, and also the climate anomaly itself also can create a hydrometeorological hazard because of the extreme weather and anomaly of climate are more frequent happen in the last present year.
So, Baida, this is probably this is the first time I hear the hydrometeorological, hazards. What causes, like, how is it formed? How are these hazards formed? Because you tell us that we are in a very vulnerable region, but how does one actually form? Is it different from a typhoon? Or what are considered hydrometeorological hazards to begin with?
Yeah, the hydrometeorological hazard is a hazard that it can cause from the meteorology and also climate and also hydrology and oceanographic phenomenon. And it can cause the damage of life, injury of and also health impact, injury people, health effect, and damage of property, infrastructure, livelihood, and also the disruption of the social and economic. And the disaster caused by the hydrometeorological hazard can be a flood, flash flood, landslide, and other.
Baida, obviously one of the topics that has been discussed often at the last couple of weeks during summits as well, including G20, is the climate crisis. How is the climate crisis connected to these hydrometeorological hazards, and how does it contribute to this phenomenon?
Yeah, as we know that global warming in the recent years have caused the climate change. And the climate change also make a different condition between today and maybe 100 years ago. That's why the condition of the atmosphere, the ocean, and also the interaction between the atmosphere and the ocean will be different from now, between now and maybe last 100 years ago. While today maybe we can see a very frequent hazard, meteorological and hydrometeorological hazard occur like typhoon, more frequent and have more intensity in some region, and also extreme weather like heavy rainfall. If we remember in 2020, highest rainfall during 30 years occur in the Jakarta that caused flood. Big flood during that time. It also have contribution from the global warming itself. Global warming make area in the tropical region have a very humid and have water vapor very abundant in the atmosphere because of a high temperature in the sea and also in the atmosphere right now compared to maybe last 100 decades. That's why, because of the humid in the atmosphere, especially in the ASEAN region, tropical region, can cause many extreme weather. So the climate change, although not direct because it have a long term of impact, but it also contribute to the extreme weather in the Indonesia.
Well, certainly something interesting. Speaking of climate change, we just wrapped up COP27. COP27, which was last week, and for the first time, the nations of the world have decided to help pay for the damage that climate change has done to poor countries. The decision promises a fund of some $100 billion a year. And let's take a look at the statement made by the UN Secretary General.
Long delayed promise of $100 billion a year in climate finance for developing countries. Clarity and a credible roadmap to double adaptation finance. Changing the business models of multilateral development banks and international financial institutions. They must accept more risk and systematically leverage private finance for developing countries at reasonable costs. But let's be clear, our planet is still in the emergency room. We need to drastically reduce emissions now, and this is an issue this COP did not address.
Well, as he said, it is the emergency room plan, but let's talk about Indonesia, right? What about Indonesia? You've mentioned we're already a very vulnerable area, but what specific areas in Indonesia actually have a larger potential for hydrometeorological hazards to occur? We've been hearing about extreme weather in a lot of different parts of the countries, but if I read this correct, it is a hazard when it will definitely bring negative impact. So where do you think are we most vulnerable here in Indonesia?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we almost all of the Indonesia region are prone to hydrometeorological hazard that can caused by meteorology and also climate, also including the global warming or climate change. So maybe if I can suggest that people who live in the area that already prone have to more consider if there are extreme weather will be occur, like maybe tropical cyclone or maybe a heavy rainfall, extreme heavy rainfall. So people who already live in the prone region have to more consider if there will be or there possibility of that phenomena occur. And then it is also important for people to understand more about different geographic condition, also make different kind of hazard. So the people have to already know it's not already about the government, but it's also about the environment, about the social condition. We have to more concern about this, like maybe keeping our environment clean or keeping our environment in a green, like it used to be, like the nature used to be. I think that we have to do.
I think that's one of the downsides of technological advances as well, is that now we have more waste to deal with and more ways we need to prevent these sort of things from happening. But speaking of prevention, how difficult is it, Maida, to predict these hydrometeorological hazards, rather? And what is the system that's currently in place for predicting these things and early warning systems?
Yeah, Mas Paul. So actually, BMKG has already have impact-based forecast. So impact-based forecast product is it's a special product that can give a potential give information where is the area are potential to occur or to be attacked by hydrometeorological disaster like flood, flash flood, and also maybe the Indonesian during heavy rainfall. Impact-based forecast from BMKG give the information about likelihood and also the impact can occur caused by the extreme weather. And that is the product that can be available from the BMKG. So it is already possible to predict the hydrometeorological hazard can be occurred maybe during the next 3 years. Next 3 days.
I mean, yes, you have a very thorough application with great notification system. I just wish that more people would actually download the application
Use
because
it
I think,
right.
yeah, and use it right because your notification system is actually very, very good. And we're looking forward to more from that. But what are, now this is the most common question, what are the most common hydrometeorological hazards in Indonesia that's happening, apart from, you know, the extreme weathers that we see?
Yeah, hydrometeorological hazards that usually common in Indonesia, like other tropical country, it is can caused by convective clouds, especially cumulonimbus clouds. If you have already heard about it, it is a very high, very not high, but it is very huge, clouds that can cause a heavy rainfall, thunderstorm, and also strong wind, even puting beliung or small tornado.
Yep.
And also it can cause a high wave in the sea. And also the other hazard that common in Indonesia is a drought, forest fire during dry season, and maybe in a specific region like Nusa Tenggara Timur or Nusa Tenggara Barat or Southeast Maluku, it is also prone to happen a tropical cyclone. Tropical cyclone can cause a big damage, like Saroja in the early 2021. So that is the kind of common hazard that can occur in the Indonesia region.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, especially as we head into rainy season now. We have faced unexpected weather seasons in the past before. So you mentioned a bit about how we need to be more aware of our environment and to live a better life in order to support the environment around us. But what specifically can we do personally as a society to reduce the impact of these hydrometeorological hazards?
Yeah, firstly, we have to start to understand our environment and what hazard that can make cause in some specific meteorological phenomena that can be occurred, because like I said before, different area have a different condition of geographic and topographic, and it can cause a different meteorological and climatological phenomena. So it can cause also different hazard and different, and also make to gain more information like
All right, I think we're losing the connection here. Aida. Let's try to see if we can get her back. We'll give her a second.